All of these cars are also available for a lot less than 10k. So you have leftover budget for things like insurance, repairs, fuel or mods. And while they are great cars in general, they each have unique strengths and the order they are in doesn't mean anything. So let's start with the underdog, the Volvo S80. There only are 2 generations and they were built from 98 to 2016 and they are pretty reliable luxurious cars. And because they are Volvos, they have very good safety ratings, which is helpful if you crash as a beginner. Hopefully it doesn't happen. They offer serious comfort and a lot of space for friends and luggage, and if something breaks, repairs are actually affordable. They are also easy to work on, so you can just do a lot of things yourself. And in terms of power, they offer a lot of engine options. Gasoline ones include 1.6 and 2 liter inline 4s with 140 to 200 horsepower, 2 and 2.5 liter inline 5 with 200 to 240 horsepower, as well as 3 and 3.2 liter inline 6s with between 240 and 300 horsepower. There also is a 4.4 liter V8, but it's way out of budget. They also offer very reliable diesel engines, so 1.6 to 2 liter inline 4s with 100 to 180 horsepower, as well as 2 and 2.4 liter inline 5s with 136 to 215 horsepower. Then you can either get a 6-speed manual, semi-automatic or automatic, or an 8-speed auto. And issues these cars can have are premature light bulb wear, squeaking noises, the front interior lights, the ABS warning light, loose seat belts, and the loss of power, as well as the crankshaft seals leaking. So nothing major actually. So they are fast enough for most people and they are very controllable with either front wheel drive or all wheel drive. So they're just great overall cars. And now for those of you who are good drivers or just stupid, consider a Ford Mustang. You can get the 4th or 5th generation for that budget, but I focus on the 5th gen. They were built from 2005 to 2014 and they established themselves as a reliable and powerful car that is loved in the car community. They either have 4 liter V6s with 210 horsepower or their 4.6 liter V8 with 300 horsepower. You then could get a 5 or 6 speed manual transmission or a 5-speed auto, and issues you can have with them is the battery draining, corrosion on the hood, the paint quality and some minor engine struggles. So you should be fine with them. And as they are rear-wheel drive, you can really enjoy them. But you should be really careful if you start driving one, especially because the mod support is insane, so you might end up with a 400 horsepower build. And if you want a practical sporty sedan, look at the Lexus IS. They are super reliable and luxurious, and the 1st gen offers the NA2JZ, yeah, the Supra engine. They can be very tastefully modified, for example with new front and rear lights, a change of the bumpers, as well as an exhaust for the 6 cylinders. You can get the 1st gen with 2 and 3 liter inline 6s with 155 to 214 horsepower, combined with a 5-speed manual transmission or a 4-speed auto, and the 2nd gen offers 2.5 liter V6s with 210 horsepower, and in North America a 3.5 liter V6 with 310 horsepower. You could also get a 2.2 liter inline 4 diesel with 150 to 180 horsepower and combine them with a 6-speed manual or automatic or an 8-speed auto. Problems these cars can have are the dashboard and door panels melting, some issues with the infotainment system, the power steering and the colors of the rear view mirror. You can get them either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and there are some pretty nice options. And be aware, a Lexus 6-cylinder can handle a lot of mileage, so you can save some money when buying one. And of course, for those who are very responsible, look at the Mazda 6. The 1st and 2nd gen are easily within budget and they are very subtle and reliable cars that also get great gas mileage. They even come as a wagon if you need even more space, and most of the engines are 4 cylinders. They offer 1.8 to 2.5 liter inline 4s with 120 to 260 horsepower, and for the US only, a 3 and 3.7 liter V6 with 220 or 276 horsepower. There also is the diesel 4-cylinder with only 120 to 185 horsepower. They are front-wheel drive and offer 5 and 6-speed manual transmissions or a 5-speed automatic, and problems that they can have are the engine overheating, the exterior lights failing, a lot of noise, some sensors being faulty, and struggle to keep a constant speed. So they are not really exciting, but they are spacious, comfortable and cheap, and good enough for most people. Because every list needs a fun car. Here is the BMW Z4. Built from 2002 to 2008, it is basically a German rear-wheel drive Miata. A very small and light roadster, but they also introduced a coupe version later. The Z4 gets 2.2 to 3 liter inline 6s with 170 to 265 horsepower, which is great for such a small car. There also is a 2-liter 4-cylinder option with 150 horsepower, but it's obvious you should get an inline 6. They are less reliable than other cars on this list, so they can have problems like oil leaks, steering problems, faulty airbags, problems with the drop top, the vidoes system, coolant loss, and the water pump failing. And because they are older, things can break of course, and BMW mechanics are pretty expensive, so they are great to work on yourself and you can learn a lot about cars with them. There of course is not a lot of space at all inside of them, but they are pretty comfortable. And I mean, at least you can bring one person on a joyride. So if you want to carry multiple people, a lot of stuff or just go off-road, consider the Subaru Forester. They are fairly reliable and look fine, though they aren't special. You can get the first 3 generations easily, so from 97 to 2013, and they only come with flat 4s or boxers, however you call them, either turbocharged or naturally aspirated. So you get 2 or 2.5 liters, producing 120 to 230 horsepower, combined with 5 or 6 speed manual transmissions or a 4 or 5 speed automatic, and they're also all-wheel drive. Problems you can have with them are the mufflers, the powered windows, the brake lights not working, the engine idling poorly, broken interior parts and oil leaks. But you can do some pretty nice little mods to them that make them a little bit more special, but they're still nothing exciting, but they are very practical. Just by the way, I made another video about cars for under 7k, but they also fit great into the 10k range, because some of them are really on the limit of 7k. So go and check it out after this one, or also another one that I made about cheap cars under 5k. Links in the description below. But let's get back on the list with the Audi A6. They are actually very affordable, luxurious and reliable cars, and the first 3 generations fit into the budget. They have so many engine options that they could literally deserve their own video, so just pause if you want to read them. Let's start with gasoline engines. And now quickly to the diesels that are incredibly reliable. You can combine them with 5 or 6 speed manual transmissions and 4, 5, 6 and 7 speed automatics. They can have issues with the turbos, gearbox, oil consumption, water leaks in the footwell and vibrations on the 2-liter engines, and are available with front wheel drive or quattro all-wheel drive. So the A6 is a very spacious and comfortable car that is perfect for long drive. And while they still are pretty reliable, repairs can be rather expensive. So if you want one of the most reliable cars in the world, which is pretty freaking nice, take a look at the Lexus GS. You can get the first 3 generations for a lot less than 10k, and they were built from 1994 to 2011. They are basically bulletproof. They offer the 3-liter inline 6 2JZ, either NA or turbocharged, with between 190 to 226 horsepower, as well as 3 and 3.5 liter V6s, which also include a hybrid with about 254 to 340 horsepower, as well as 4 to 4.6 liter V8, including the legendary 1UZ, which is known to drive up to 1,000,000 miles, with about 250 to 342 horsepower. They then are all-wheel drive or wheel-wheel drive and offer 4, 5, 6 and 8 speed automatic transmissions. The only problems you can have with them are the air conditioning, the boot lock, the power steering and the leaking sunroof. Basically nothing. They are absolute tanks with lots of power potential, and they are perfect for taking friends along on relaxing cruises. I personally love them. And if you managed to stay until now, first of all thank you, but now it's time for a very fun car. So think about the Ford Crown Victoria. Yeah, the police car. The first gen was built from 92 to 97 and the second from 97 to 2011, and they are super reliable and fun to drive. I mean, they're still used as taxis and police car these days, so for way over 20 years. They have 4.6 liter V8s with 190 to 240 horsepower and only offer 4-speed manual or automatic transmissions. They can have problems like inter manifolds cracking, transmission failure, the engine overheating at idle if you use the AC, the heater hose outlet leaking, or the rear axle shafts having some issues. So again, nothing too bad, and they're also cheap to fix because there are so many of them. They literally are giant cars, so about the size of a modern S-Class, and have the super soft suspension that allows you to drive like in the movies and just beat these cars up. They are of course more for the US market, as they are dirt cheap there. You can literally pick them up for like $1,000, but they're also available here in Germany, but rather for like 7 or 8k. And you can also have a lot of fun with them by freaking out other people on the road. But I'll say it again, it's mostly a US deal. So I hope you liked the video and enjoy the rest of your day. So maybe I'll see you in one of these videos right here. Until next time.